You've probably heard of the Ouija board, right? That spooky game that supposedly lets you talk to ghosts? But the Victorians in their obsession with the afterlife went so much further. They didn't just want to spell out messages, they wanted to hear spirits, see them, and get physical proof from the other side. And to do that, they invented a whole range of bizarre and forgotten technologies, from trumpets that amplified ghostly voices to special cabinets that seemed to manifest spirits on command. And today, we're going beyond Ouija to explore the lost seance tech of the Victorian era. In the 19th century was a time of massive social and industrial change, but it was also a period drenched in grief and a deep fascination with the unknown. And the Spiritualist movement exploded, fueled by a powerful desire to connect with loved ones lost to war and disease. This wasn't some fringe belief either. It reached the highest levels of society. And even Queen Victoria herself attended seances after the death of her husband, Prince Albert. And where there's demand, innovation always follows. An entire industry of paranormal technology popped up, promising a direct line to the spirit world. And in this video, we're investigating some of the most fascinating examples. First up, a real centerpiece of the Victorian seance, the spirit cabinet. Imagine a large portable closet or curtained-off corner of a room. A medium would step inside, sometimes being tied to a chair to prove they couldn't use their hands. And the curtains would be drawn, and in the dimly lit room, the show would begin. Bells would ring, tambourines would jingle, and ghostly hands might even poke out from between the drapes. And to believers, this was solid proof. The cabinet was seen as a kind of spiritual battery, a place to concentrate psychic energy so spirits could physically manifest. And the darkness and the medium's restraints are supposed to rule out any kind of trickery. But the real magic was all about escape artistry and misdirection. Once the curtains were closed, a skilled medium could slip out of their robes, freeing a hand to ring a bell or wave a prop. And in some cases, accomplices might even slip through hidden trapdoors in the stage floor to create more supernatural activity. And the cabinet was essentially a stage, giving the medium a private space where they had complete control over the audience's experiences. Long before the Ouija board, the most common way to get a message was simply by using the furniture. And table tipping or table turning was one of the earliest and most common seance phenomena. The sitters would gather around a small table, place their fingertips on top, and ask the spirits questions. And soon the table would start to tilt, lift, or slide, often with one tilt for yes and two for no. And the more advanced version of this was spirit rapping. This practice became a sensation thanks to the Fox sisters, who in 1848 claimed that spirits in their home were communicating through a series of knocks. And in a seance, the medium would recite the alphabet, and the table would rap when the correct letter was reached, slowly spelling out a message. So were ghosts really pushing the furniture around? Well, the great scientist Michael Faraday had a different theory, the Ideomotor effect. And this is the same psychological principle that makes a Ouija plan set seem to move on its own. And it's the power of suggestion causing people to make tiny unconscious muscle movements. And when a whole group of people expects a table to move, their combined involuntary pushes are more than enough to make it tilt and slide. And it was a shared delusion made all the more powerful by the spooky atmosphere of the seance room. And if you enjoy this look into the hidden history of the paranormal, consider subscribing for more deep dives into forgotten mysteries. The spelling out messages with table raps was, well, slow. And for spirits who had more to say, mediums offered a faster technology, the Spirit Trumpet. These are typically skinny cones, sometimes made of tin or even cardboard, and they were said to amplify the whispers of the dead. The trumpet would be placed in the center of the table, and in the darkness, it would seem to float around the room while disembodied voices, whistles, or other sounds would come from it. And the effect was stunning, making it seem like a spirit was flying around the room and speaking directly to the sitters. And of course, this too was a trick. The medium could hide a lightweight collapsible trumpet on their person, and in the dark, they could easily extend it, lift it with a hidden rod, and use ventriloquism or simply whisper into it to create ghostly voices. And some trumpets even had luminous rings on the end, making their levitation in the dark all the more convincing. From elaborate cabinets to simple tilting tables and talking trumpets, Victorian seance tech was a masterclass in psychology and stage magic. These devices weren't just about fooling people, They were born from a genuine, widespread desperation to find comfort and connection in a world filled with loss. And the line between belief and deception was often blurry, and some mediums probably even believed in their own performances. And while investigators and magicians eventually exposed most of these methods, these forgotten technologies tell a fascinating story of human ingenuity and our eternal curiosity about what lies on the other side. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more journeys into the strange and forgotten corners of history. And thanks for watching.